Need to do is rip up the script when news changes. It changed this morning, a Wall Street Journal op-ed from General McMaster and Mr. Cohn of the White House. Here's one of the key quotes of many. America will once again be a true friend to our partners and worst foe to our enemies. The president's visit showed the power of both competing to advance interest and engaging to develop relationships and foster cooperation. We have a vital interest in taking the lead internationally to advance American military, political, and economic strength. We could spend an hour with Kevin Cirilli over a cup of coffee this morning on this extraordinary essay. Kevin, the back end of these essays is always where the meat and potatoes is. It is a global community versus an arena. Is that how Mr. Cohn sees it?
Well, Mr. Cohn is largely perceived, Tom, as more of the globalist in the Trump administration. I think that also, though, this op-ed in the Wall Street Journal comes at a time in which German Chancellor Angela Merkel has completely gone to task with the Trump administration in private comments and public comments, and in saying that Europe must have to go it alone. So you have a situation right now where our European counterparts, as well as the United States, are both saying the same things and jockeying for positions, it would seem, in the global geopolitical world. You
were in the room, so to speak, Kevin, on this trip. The key half sentence in the middle of the essay, while reconfirming America's commitment to NATO and Article 5. Did the president do that on the trip?
No. You know, Tom, here's what's interesting about NATO is that the president has consistently called for NATO allies to pay their fair share, for the 23 of the 28 NATO nations to pay their fair share because they're not meeting the percentage benchmark that they have said that they would. But from the Europeans' perspective, people like German Chancellor Angela Merkel, they feel that they are actually paying more simply because of the anti-terror programs that they have to pay for domestically. Case in point, the UK Manchester attack. You know, they feel that a lot of the budget that they're paying for in police programs and domestic counterterrorism programs are programs that they feel the U.S. doesn't have to pay for right now.
Kevin, who did they write this essay for within the White House? There's a raging tug of war going on right now. You know this better than anybody I know. Who is opposing General McMaster and Mr. Cohn, the globalist and Democrat?
Well, I think it's a political tug of war from those who want to have a more nationalistic standpoint. I think that from this op-ed standpoint, it's clearly a signal coming out of what potentially could be perceived as missteps on that first international trip, in the sense that they didn't do enough to win over the Europeans. This could be an effort for them to put forth a more mainstream, more appeasing rhetoric coming off of their first trip.
Kevin, when we talk about international relations, global cohesion, of course, another topic at the G7 was climate change. I'm wondering what we're expecting from the president this week in terms of the U.S. perhaps backing out of the Paris Climate Accord.
A lot of signaling that the administration will back out of the climate accord. The president tweeting, of course, that the decision will come this week. This is a White House that wants to move beyond the Russia probe. I can tell you that I was speaking with sources yesterday on the House Financial Services Committee who tell me that at the end of next week is when everyone is anticipating the Financial Choice Act, the repeal of Dodd-Frank, Thursday or Friday, to have that be a House floor vote. So things will move along. Congress is in recess right now. Yesterday, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer getting past news of a shakeup, but also saying that meetings very much ongoing on tax reform and health care this week, too, even though Senate and House are in recess.